What's up, you guys? All right, we're gonna be talking about the welterweight division right now, and we're gonna be talking about who can possibly defeat Leon Edwards. And we're gonna start with number 15. We got Kevin Holland, and honestly, Kevin Holland is a can, but he's a glorified can, and he could probably beat Vicente Luque. Let's see who else he could beat. He's beat Joaquin Buckley before. I don't know how that happened, but I guess Buckley's biggest weakness for some reason is long people. But Kevin Holland, he doesn't have a chance to beat Leon Edwards. Now, if he took his craft serious and legitimately ate right, slept right, didn't have annoying friends that did the wrong thing, like just did all the right stuff, he'd probably be pretty high up there. But he just doesn't care. He doesn't care. He thinks the Kung Fu Bushido is actually relevant. It's just kind of stupid. And we've seen him be the smack man there for a while. And then whenever the smack man got smacked on by Venom Page, he didn't like that. The bully didn't like being bullied in a way, if you know what I mean. And it just showed weakness. And then like Kevin Holland's always goofing around, and then whenever MVP did it, he got all frustrated and serious. Pretty hilarious. I take Kevin Holland as a total joke, and there was a point in time where right before I think it was damn it, which one was it? I don't know, one of his early knockouts. Right before that, I was just like, man, this dude's on his way out. And then he got lucky and started stringing off some wins. And did Dana White some favors by always being willing to fight and this and that. So Dana White likes him for that. But I'm going to be honest, man. I just think he's a can. I really do. I really do. And he couldn't beat MVP, a reject from the other, league and stuff. So he shows that he's not UFC level even, Kevin Holland. So I'll be seeing you in PFL, and appreciate your hard work there, bud. All right, number 14, we got Vicente Luque. That fight with Buckley was trash. It was total trash. It pissed me off. He just wilted, whether it was he had a bet on the fight or if he's just done, he just wanted to show money. For whatever reason, that dude gave up. He completely gave up in that fight. We all know it. And it's some bullshit. And I'm not a big fan of the whole nice guy, quiet guy routine. That stuff gets a little bit boring to me, a little bit old, and it makes me wonder why they're being so quiet. But to each his own. He seems like a nice person, but that doesn't matter in the UFC fight game. And I don't see him being in the top 15 for much longer. Is he possibly retiring? What? Let me know. All right. Next up, number 13 spot, we got Michael Venom Page. MVP. I really liked watching him. It seems like I've been watching him for 10 years at this point. We're doing the Pokemon and the Thanos stuff. That stuff was always a bit cringe and corny, but it worked for him in the other league. And it always seemed like some dude who was just crushing cans, which he was, but he's got talent. Overall, as a fighter, I'd rate him as a C+ on a good day. That whole hands down, bouncing around stuff, it works a little bit. You see people like O'Malley using that. I'm trying to think of anybody else, really. Maybe Yuri a little bit. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see anybody doing that these days. But I just could see him getting chinned very easily, Michael Venom Page. He got chinned that one time. What was it? Delima or somebody? I don't know, not Delima, but maybe it was. I can't remember. I don't watch Bellator that much. But he got chinned that one time, and I could easily see that happening again. And he's just not a challenge for the upper guys. I honestly think Magny beats his ass. I think Magny takes his ass to the ground, fucking chokes him out, makes him look stupid, and we all go, man, is Michael Venom Page not even that good? Because MVP can't beat, I don't think he can beat Magny. He might be able to beat Buckley, honestly. Neal, possibly. Thompson, that's a good fight. I'd like to see that fight. They try to play, MVP tries to play it off like, yeah, we're friends, and yeah, I don't really want to fight him. Yeah, we know why. I hate that whole friend stuff. Y'all are fighters, man. You guys are fighters. It don't fucking matter. You're a fighter and then you're friends. That's some bullshit. Unless you grew up together and were best friends and in the same friend group, that's the only friends. That's some bullshit otherwise. So we'll go into Neil Magny now. Honestly, he's a little too old. I don't think he has a chance of at all. Honestly, I really don't. Can he beat some of the top guys? No. I don't think he could. I don't think he beats Sean Brady. I don't think he beats any of these guys. He didn't beat Gary. No, I don't think he does, but I think he beats everybody below him. So he's at kind of like a weird spot right now for himself. So no on Neil Magny. The next one, we got Joaquin Buckley. Even though he's been a highlight machine at times, I think just his weakness is tall dudes, tall, lanky guys, and it just gives him too many problems. I really think it does. He just can't get past them for some reason. He's got all this muscle, but he when it comes to people like even Kevin Holland and stuff can tag him. It doesn't seem right. In the Vicente Luque fight, he obviously looked good, but it looked like a fixed fight a little bit. I would say that Buckley, he has a chance to be top 5 if he works his ass off. If he really works his ass off, he can be top 5. If he works his ass off a little bit, he could be top 10. But, eventually Kamaru's going to retire. Eventually Colby's going to retire. Eventually Burns is going to retire. And then Thompson's going to retire. Neal's going to retire. I mean, he's just going to be guaranteed a top 10 spot for sure eventually. But I don't think he has what it takes to beat Leon Edwards. I really don't, just skill-wise. I don't think he's smart enough to learn all of it, honestly. I don't think he's as smart as Leon Edwards and wouldn't be able to just add it all together as smoothly. And I'm not saying like in terms of like IQ, I just mean in terms of like fighting IQ, basically. Next up, we got Jeff Neal. He's a bit long in the tooth as well, known for his boxing. He's looked good at times, but is he going to be a champion? No, he's not going to be a champion. He's basically a great value version of Leon Edwards, in a way. And he's got no chance of being the champion. Same goes for the next guy at number 9, Stephen Thompson. He's got no chance either. Honestly, these guys until it gets to about the 8th spot they don't have a chance, in my opinion. Stephen Thompson, he's too old. He's one-dimensional. He's got wrinkles in his game that he can't do anything about. He can't do anything about the submission or the wrestling. He won't work on it. The Bruce Lee quote doesn't work for him with the trust somebody who's kicked 1,000 times one way or whatever. Yeah, well, he's done that, and he still loses. So it's not just about that. Leon Edwards is a better mixed martial artist, and honestly, he mixes it up so well that there's no way Stephen Thompson would be able to hang with him. He'd tackle Stephen Thompson and beat his ass. Sean Brady, he sucks. I mean, we saw him get torn apart by Belal. That just proved to me that he's never going to be a champion. He's never going to be a champion, Sean Brady. And when he first showed up, I was like, this dude is going to be a champion. This dude's a beast. This dude's fucking stacked and he's good. But no. He's good, but he ain't that good. You're not that guy, pal, basically. All right, next up, we got Ian Machado Garry. This dude's a joke in life. He's a good fighter. I'll give him that, but he's a fucking joke, dude. I feel like we're being pranked or something, honestly. I'm like, there's no way this could be real. All this shit with him, but whatever, man. I honestly feel like people like this don't even have a conscience or something. Or maybe they're just like some sort of extreme narcissist type shit where they're not self-aware and they could have this done to them, man. It's ridiculous. Honestly, he's probably in a situation where he feels like he can't even get out of this shit, you guys. Imagine that. Imagine being in a situation where you know this girl is lawyered up, you look like a fucking idiot, you have no friends, she's your only friend. You're kind of like Stockholm syndrome up. It's not good for him. But we'll see. Maybe this is going to push him. I think it does push him in a weird way to be better. It's weird that I haven't really seen Gary's family. Does he not have a family and this is kind of like his coping and stuff like that? I'm not sure, but very odd. His whole like vegan thing, I've experimented with eating mostly vegetables and mostly fruits and trying to eat sparingly on meats and stuff. And honestly, I just felt fucking sick. I felt sick. I looked skinny as fuck. I just tried to be healthier. And I try to think like, oh yeah, you know, the meat's all dead and this and that, so I'm going to put the real good protein in me. It didn't work right. It didn't work like that. It felt like I was just like, and then like all the fruits and shit these days is not even that good and everything else. But long story short, I just worry about Gary on the personal life front. And the whole, like, I feel like even though she's a vindictive person, I feel like it's helped him in a weird way at times as well. But anyway, I think Gary has a shot. He's the first person on this list that I even see having a shot at this. As much as we don't like him, he's a great fighter. He's a great striker more so. And he's good at picking his shots. He reminds me of the same category as like an Izzy, even like slightly like a Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, slightly, a better version of Kevin Holland, whatever. I think he would smash Kevin Holland, honestly. I worry about him facing, this is Ian Gary we're talking about, I worry about him facing like a Gilbert Burns and a Jack Della Maddalena and things like this. But honestly, he should be fighting Colby. That should be the fight. It's a perfect fight. It's stupid. It seems like Colby's scared. It's retarded. But Colby should just rely on the wrestling and stuff like that. But we'll see what happens. But Ian is the first person on this list that I actually give a halfway shot to. Next up, we got Gilbert Burns. Burns, he can't even get past Kamaru. So I don't think so. I just don't think so. He's a little too small. His prime is kind of past, I think, and I just don't think he's got power. He's got the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a well-rounded fighter. He's almost undersized though. He's almost undersized. I just think Belal, Shavkat versus Gilbert Burns, that don't even seem like they're in the same weight class. That just doesn't even seem like they're in the same weight class. He just seems smaller than him. So I just don't think Gilbert Burns has a shot at beating the champ. He's 6 right now. He could be top 5, honestly. He could beat Colby. He could beat Jack Della Maddalena. But top 3, no chance, in my opinion. No chance. So no to Gilbert Burns. Next up, we got Jack. And honestly, I think Jack is good. I think he could possibly take the number 4 spot. But I don't think he's as good as the top 3 guys. I really don't. He's got heavy hands. He's a great fighter. And that's about it. I think he's good. I think he's slightly overrated because he's kind of like the everyman fighter. But is he going to be a champion one day? I don't think so. I do not think so. I think he'll be top 5. That's about it, to be honest with you. Next up, we got Colby. I think Jack could take Colby's spot possibly. Or Ian will come up there and take Colby's spot. But Colby's his time's coming to an end on this on the fighting game. He wasn't the same after that Jorge jumping, honestly. And I don't know why. I mean, that shouldn't really change you that much. I know a bunch of people that have been jumped and everything else. And especially, I've been jumped myself as well. But coming from a professional UFC fighter, and then just being that affected by it after, just seems odd. Just seems odd to me. I get why it would make you think twice, but it's strange. But Colby, we know he's tough. No matter what you say, he fought with a broken jaw. I mean, we don't know. Actually, we don't know if it was fully broken, do we? I mean, honestly, do we know? Something weird could have been going on in there, dislocated his jaw or some weird shit. But it is interesting. I mean, it looked broken. But it's interesting that with the Colby stuff, he's super tough. He's got rabbit little pat punches, pat little punches, but that never do any damage. And he's always just kind of like, yeah, come on, oh yeah, and doing that kind of shit. If he doesn't have success with a takedown, though, he's pretty limited, and it surprises me that he's in the top 5 at this point. Let's be real. So for Colby, no way. I don't think he beats Leon. The whole broken foot excuse in the last fight was pretty dumb, and it just I'm kind of tired of hearing him a little bit. I'm not even mad about the smack talk and the crossing the line. At least it gives us something to talk about. But I don't know. I'm tired of him ducking people and acting tough. This shit gets old. All right, number 3, Shavkat Rakhmonov. Now this dude is a G, the total G right here. He's a little bit overrated, judging by his last fight. He doesn't go out there like Khamzat did, or and try to like dominate people right out the gate. He doesn't do that quite as much. He's still pretty good, and he's awesome. He's got that look like the Mongolian type of, not even Mongolian, but just somewhere else exotic look to him. And he looks like a warlord and all that stuff. And people get way too hyped for that, honestly. Like, you could literally go to Family Dollar and see somebody that looks like that. And people are getting way too hyped about this. But I think he's a great fighter. Honestly, he's my favorite of everybody. And I don't want to overly rate him for that. But I think that he's... I mean, it almost surprised me. It seems like they're slow playing him a little bit. Him and Belal, for some reason, they're slow playing those two. But honestly, this division is pretty good, especially compared to like something like heavyweight, So Shavkat, I think he has a great chance at it. I'm gonna give him as well as Ian a chance at the title, so possibly one of those two could get it. Next up, we got Belal. Belal, obviously, he's gonna try to wrestle. He's been doing a lot of like wrestling his whole life, and he's not that bad on the feet, to be honest with you. On paper, him and Shavkat are better than Leon at striking and at wrestling, so it's like, I'm not sure about Shavkat on the wrestling, but probably. But it's just like Belal on paper, Anthony Smith style, is just better everywhere. And I think Leon is a little bit scared of him. I think that Dana White's a little bit scared of him too. Catching him outside. No, I'm just kidding. But like literally Dana White's just scared to have Belal as the champion and doesn't really want him to be champion. But honestly, he's got that whole Muslim fan base, and I think it would play into that. Honestly, I really do. I think he could get a Saudi card and everything all working out perfectly with the Belal Muhammad, but for whatever reason, Dana White and the rest of the guys, they don't like him. You can just tell they don't like him. So I think Belal could definitely do it. It would be like a decision win, and I think that Shavkat would be like a finish. But over 5 rounds, I could see him getting a decision win over Leon, possibly split decision, and everybody's all pissed off, and especially Leon. But I'm going to say those 3 so far. So Belal, Shavkat, and Ian. And then the last one is Kamaru. He's the number 1 spot. Honestly, does he deserve to be number 1? Maybe, just because he's been fighting the champion. But his last fight, he didn't even look that good. He didn't even look, like, he looked all right, I mean, I know it was the short notice and everything else, but I don't know. I just feel like Kamaru's done. He's got this podcast now, and it's over. I really do think it's over. Like, who's he going to beat? I don't think he can beat Belal. I don't think he can beat Shavkat. I don't even think he wants to fight Colby again, because he's a little bit more worn at this point. He can't beat Jack. He can probably beat Burns again, honestly. And then some of the other guys. But that's past the top 5. Top 6 being Gilbert Burns. I don't see him I don't see Kamaru beating anybody like that. So out of all those 15, I see 3 people that have a chance. And then that's it. So Leon is a great champion, though. I think he's a great fighter. Honestly, he surprises me almost every time he fights. So congrats to him, and appreciate you guys watching.